What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team FISHKNUCKLES YouTube channel. So today is Monday. I know Press have Main Deck Monday, but this week's gonna be kind of different. I literally just got back from Dallas, where we played Pokemon all day Saturday, the side event Sunday, and so yep, we're gonna talk about my Saturday report from Dallas, where I got 46th place, which is insane. There was like, I don't know exactly the numbers. I heard it was 1050. I heard it was 1100. I know it's over 1,000 masters. So we went 6, 1, and 2. Give me 20 points. You actually need 21 points to make it into day 2, but we only get 20. And so that was kind of unfortunate, but still I was very happy. I was very excited to play this deck and to showcase it off. And I think it's really, really strong, especially in the finals. We saw basically this deck in the finals versus Riley's deck, which was basically the same thing, but played a little muck over the more Hex and red card version that this list basically played. So let's break down this list first. How do we get to this list? Well, if you watched Pokemon Conquest videos last week, you would notice that I would play against JW multiple days, and every day, you know, it got closer and closer. His list just kept beating me. This deck was just destroying me. It would take me down. It would just be aggressive, and any deck I threw at it, it would just take it down, which is, alright, so obviously this deck's really, really good. But his list was it wasn't very different, but it's different. This list is kind of different from his. In the night before the tournament, we're sitting there, we're contemplating some stuff. I tested some games with it, and there's some stuff we wanted to put in there, and you're going to see immediately one of the things we have in there is Counter Catcher. This was kind of a last-minute decision. We were either deciding putting red card in there or Counter Catcher. Now, they're both really, really good. In the end, we pretty much would want a red card over Counter Catcher, maybe both if you could justify it. But with Counter Catcher, what you do in the mirror is, let's say you go second. You know, they go first, they bridge it, get set up. I bridge it, set up, but they take a knockout, all right? So they take a knockout with the Zoroark-GX, whatever, right? And then my turn, I take a knockout on their Zoroark-GX, my Zoroark-GX, and now we're uneven prizes. He's going to take a knock on my Zoroark-GX, and then now we have this Counter Catcher, which is really, really good. We're going to bring Pokemon off the bench and knock out whoever we want to. Also, let's say your opponent's really smart, and like turn 2, they use like a foul play, or they use Mind Jack to knock out an active Pokemon or something like that. Well, then you can use Counter Catcher, bring up their Zoroark-GX, take a knockout, while also using like Hex or using N or something to disrupt them. So it was kind of like playing like a Lycanroc almost, just a little bit. It's just really good if you're down on price of their cards. It's basically like playing 2 supporter cards. You Counter Catcher and then, you know, use whatever you want to. So really, really good. The idea with red card is that you can red card your opponent to 4 and then use Hex Maniac to basically shut them down, make it where they can't draw. So both of them are really, really good. The Counter Catcher is a little bit more aggressive, just take knockouts, but red card it's definitely going to slow down your opponent while taking on knockouts. So both are really good. Let's see what else is in here. We need to talk about the 2 Hex. Basically, when we were testing it, we had Muck, and you know, we were like, all right, do we put down Muck? And we're like, all right, we'll put down Muck. We can't use Triple Propagation. Triple Propagation is so strong. It's really, really good. And the reason behind this is because everybody plays Sudowoodo. We even play Sudowoodo. So with this, you know, we're limited down to 4 bench, right? So Zoroark-GX, it's, you know, it's not gonna do anything. Well, if you can Triple Propagate, put 3 Pokemon in your hand, and Hex, you should have another Pokemon in your hand, right? You play enough, you should be able to put down another Pokemon, Triple Propagate, and Hex, and take a knockout. So this was the idea about the 2 Hex. You know, you could put down Muck, but when you put down Muck, you can't use your X, which is very unfortunate. So let's say you're planning to get some money, you get the Muck out, you block their Sudowoodo, and then you take a knockout. Well, then if they like Parallel City you down to 3, you can't come back from that because now your eggs are gone. You can't ever use them. You have your Muck, and maybe you can like discard your Muck, but then their Sudowoodo comes back into play, and then you're back to square one. So you know, we realistically just cut the Muck, put 2 Hex in there, and called, you know, that's our Muck. That's what our Muck is going to do. And still, Hex in the mirror is fantastic. Making where your opponent cannot trade is you know, it's really good. So that's kind of how we came along the deck. Everything else is pretty much standard stuff that we've seen. We like this Zoroark a lot more because you can foul play. You can foul play Quake Punch, which is really, really strong. You can foul play Righteous Beating to take a knock on our GX while not putting up your GX, which is really, really cool. And so, you know, it was good. It was really, really good. Everything deserves a spot. Ranger was in there because, you know, Cystow was getting a lot of hype, which came very, very useful in our games. We have Ghetsis in there, which is really strong. You get Night March, you turn 1, you're like, all right, I'm just going to Ghetsis your Night March. You can also Hex Night March, but Ghetsis turn 1 just makes it where they shuffle all the other cards back in the deck, and it's just really, really strong. Well, we broke down the deck. Let's talk about our matches, okay? So me trying to look at my picture. Also, I'm wearing sunglasses because my eyeballs not doing so well. If you saw me this weekend, you pretty much noticed that. So round 1, we get paired against a Toad Zoroark player. So I'm fine with this. Like Toad Zoroark, that's fine. They're Quake Punch you. They're reliant on laser flips. If they flip heads, then yeah, you're in trouble. But they have to flip heads, and then you flip tails, and then you're not doing so hot. A lot of these games I don't remember. I was a lot of pain on Saturday. If you saw me on Saturday, you saw I wasn't doing so hot. But we end up winning it. It's just we can take a knockouts on them pretty easily. We can still Sudowoodo them, make it where their Zoroarks can't really do anything. They don't play enough Pokemon to really realistically take a knockout against you. So it went our way. I don't know if it went to game 3 or game 2. I can't recall. A lot of these games are going to be like that. I'm still in a lot of pain. But we would play against Toad Zoroark, which is really nice, and we would take that win. Next up was against Dean, playing his Gardevoir deck. I think round 1 her name was Brigette, if I remember correctly. I think I took a screenshot of it. Let me make sure. Maybe I did. I think I did. So yeah, round 1 was against Brigette, and then round 2 was against Dean. Dean was playing a Gardevoir deck. Now Gardevoir, we got Sudowoodo there, which is good. You can limit their bench down to 4, kind of, control the field. Yeah, they play double Gallade, which could punish you, blah, blah, blah. But they still have to hit Rare Candy Glade. Yeah, they play teammates, all that kind of stuff, to try to chain it. But we're so aggressive, we're so good to go. Game 1, I take it. Game 2, he takes it. Game 3, I kid you not, this is probably what kept me out of top 32, because this luck right here. So, Dean, I have the knockout. I just have to Guzma, one of the bitch Pokemon. Dean doesn't know I only play. He thinks I play 4 via Seeker, but we only play 3. There's 3 in the discard pile already, but there's 2 puzzle times left in my deck, right? So I think he Parallel Cities me or something like that. Well, he does something. Or no, he does Parallel City me. He just promotes the Vulpix, and I have to knock out a something on the bench or something. I can't remember. I just need to knock out something on the bench with the Guzma. Maybe I have 1 prize card left. Maybe he promoted a Guardy or something, and I just needed to take a knockout. I can't really realistically remember what did I need knockout. I can't remember the situation, but I need to find a Guzma and take a knock on the bench, right? I think it was a Tapu Lele on the bench, and that's probably what it was, maybe. But regardless, so I trade once, and I hit a Rescue Stretch or something else. So I Rescue Stretcher for Shaymin. Shaymin set up for a bunch. Oh, he ended me. That's what it was. He ended me to a very low hand size. But we have 3 Zoroarks in play or something like that. And so realistically, we should take a knockout, right? So I trade once, hit the Stretcher Shaymin, Shaymin on the field, draw a bunch of cards, trade once or trade twice, trade a 3rd time, and there's 1 card left in my deck. Well, you can't believe it, but that last card in my deck was the other half of the puzzle. If I had drawn to the last puzzle, we would have beaten Dean, and it was actually the reason why I didn't beat Dean is because I was turn 2 of time, and Dean was turn 3 of time. So if I would have hit the puzzle on the very last card, I would have won that game. I think in game number 2, I scooped fairly quickly. I noticed I couldn't win. I scooped, whatever, went to game 3. I played it perfectly. I scooped like I was supposed to, because they're very long matches, but unfortunately, it wouldn't work like that. So we were tied that round. So that's unfortunate. So that's the first tie. 1-on-1. Not looking so hard for that. But next round, we are playing against Steven Barron. He is playing a Toad Garb deck. Now, you think Garb. Garb's just going to shut us down. We can't use abilities, stuff like that. But that's not 100% true. Because, we have Ranger. Ranger can shut down abilities, or shut down effects of attack. So it's going to shut down sides to his Quake Punch, which is really nice, He's not really one-shotting us. And I think this was a 3-game series. I'm pretty sure it's a 3-game series. But they're really fast. So once again, I think game 2 I scooped. Game 1 he scoops pretty quickly, and in game 3 we play. But I mean, I'm just so fast. I get set up. Like I said, he can get Garb online, whatever. That's fine. I think if I remember correctly, in game 3 he actually whiffs DCE, which is why the Zoroark variant is a little bit better than the Garb variant. Because with Zoroark you can trade, you can dig more, but without it you can't really. Whatever you draw into is what you get. So I would take down this deck. Playing against Steven, playing against Toad Garb. Next up, we bring against Austin Zettel. 201. So I'm feeling good. I'm like, all right, we got this. And turns out he is playing a Zoroark variant as well, but he's a very interesting Zoroark deck, and it's a Zoroark Glade Maxie's deck. If you don't know, Maxie's hit a ball trick. If you can only use it when there's one card left in your deck or one card left in your hand, and when you use it, you can get a fighting Pokemon off your discard pile, put it onto your bench, and you're good to go. So it was a Vespiquen, Zoroark, Glade deck, and man, it was the worst of times. Game 1, we have a little fight. You know, we put up some good numbers. I remember he took a knockout, then I Counter Catcher his Glade off the bench to knock it out, so he can't really, like, retaliate with Glade, and that's what Counter Catcher was so good. Like, we knocked out his Glade, and he couldn't retaliate and knock out my Zoroark-GX. But, you know, we'll get down to nitty-gritty, and I remember I would Hex, get rid of his Sudowoodo, you know, do the, you know, prop, Hex, take a knockout on his Zoroark. Well, he would set up his Zoroark, and he had, like, a bench of 3. He would Sycamore and hit like 5 Pokemon and take a knockout on my Zoroark, and from there I didn't have a response, and he would win the game. So that's very unfortunate. Like, he hit Sycamore, he got everything he needed, and he won that game. In game 2, turn 1, he got a Maxie's Glade, and then turn 2, he got another Maxie's Glade. So yeah, he had double Glade on the field, and there's pretty much nothing you can do about that. It's just really good. Like, it's just really good. And then he's got, like, you know, Vespiquen as a backup attacker and stuff like that. But I don't think it even came into play. I think, or Flareon. I can't remember if it was Flareon or Vespiquen. I think it was both, maybe. But he's got unknowns and stuff. It's just really good, and he's able to take that game pretty quickly, 2-0. So now we are sitting at 2-1-1. So we're not looking good right now. We're on the struggle bus. And then next up, we are playing against Emery, he's actually playing Mega Gardevoir, which Mega Gardevoir should be a fantastic matchup for us. He can't one-shot us. We play Acerola, he plays Acerola, but we play puzzles and stuff like that. So game 1, I unfortunately prize my Acerola, and I lose that one. I scoop fairly quickly. Game 2, it is a very, very long game because he is you know, Aceroling. He's picking up his Gardevoirs. He's setting up a new Gardevoir, and I'm Acerola my guy, and we're just trading back and forth. We're both two-shotting each other, and I would eventually win that one. In game 3, we would not even, I don't think we, like, I think we both had, like, he had Hoopa for Scoundering, and I had Brigette, and from there we tied. So now we're looking at what? 2-1-2? Yeah, 2 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties. So we can't make top 32 anymore. You need 21 points, and that's impossible to do with that record. But then after this, we would go on a hot streak. So next up, we're playing against Armando Lopez. I'm pretty sure Armando, hold on, let me see if I can remember correctly. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me look at this. So that was... okay. So playing against Armando Lopez, and he's playing fighting. And, you know, fighting versus Zoroark, you know, it's supposed to be a good matchup. But I remember, like, both games. He, like, started Buzzwole. No, we went to game 3. We had 3 games. All right. So game 2, I scooped fairly quickly because he dominated. But game 1 and game 3, like, I turn 1 bridge, it gets set up. He goes Buzzwole, takes a knockout, whatever. But my turn, I'm able to foul play his Absorption GX to take a knockout on his guys. And then he's really not able to retaliate. Oh, game 3, I remember what happened. He started Red Rock and passed. And it was like the worst start he ever had, supposedly. And, yeah, we'll take that down. The good thing about Zoroark is it's so consistent. This list is real consistent. And the reason why, I didn't talk about this earlier, but the reason why I went this deck, it's so consistent. Like, you really don't have bad starters. Like, yeah, you can start Egg and Pass and whatever, they can Laser Dunk. That's true. Whatever. But it's best 2 out of 3. That happens, whatever. Like, mathematically, it shouldn't have happened. Like, it's so unfortunate if you get Laser Dunk Egg because you play so many Pokemon. They have to go first. They have to find a Laser Verbank. You have to get paired against that matchup. Like theoretically, that this shouldn't happen. You shouldn't have to worry about Laser Dunk Egg. But everything in your deck is not a bad starter. Nobody really has a hefty retreat cost. You play the Float Stones, which a lot of lists don't. We play multiple Zoras and Zoroarks. We played the 4 Zoroarks, and that's why I went to with this list. It's just really consistent. We want to draw a lot. We want to make sure we do not get set up. So that's why I went to the list. I didn't talk about that. And the reason I'm talking about this is because against the I forget his name already. Who was it? George? What was his name again? I'm sorry. Against Armando, like, he doesn't have Zoroark to trade. He did play Octo, but he has to prioritize, like, getting his Fight Attackers off. Fire Attacker is our draw Pokemon, so that's why, you know, that's what I was trying to point. That our deck's really consistent, we can draw all the time, and we really know how to get set up besides get our Zoroarks. That's really, really nice. Next up, it's going to be Michael Landry, Michael. I think he is playing. Oh, okay. So we sit down with Michael. Okay, I remember this now. He's from Dead Draw Gaming. Shout out to Dead Draw Gaming. But he sits down. He's like, yeah, I only got one loss today. Blah blah blah. And it was a Simon Road. I was like, okay, what is Simon playing? Simon's a really good player. What is he playing? And he's like, oh, just like straight Zoroark with 4 eggs or propagation stuff like that. I'm like, oh yes, we are in there. So I know he was already nervous about this matchup, and then we are in there. We're good to go. He's playing Gliscopod, Zoroark. That's fine because they still put the Gliscopod down. I mean, when you put down a Gliscopod, it is not it's not a Zoroark, so they can't trade with it. So that's great for us. I don't remember this game went 3 or 2 games. I think it went 2 and just like went really quick. Once again, Vision's not very the best at this point. I'm pretty much dying at life right now. Everybody's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to get my points because that's what I'm mainly here to do. So we would win this one. It's a fairly easy matchup, I feel like, just because you can hex and take a knockout. They can't really retaliate because they can't, they don't have the X to propagate. They can't one-shot you. Yeah, they can use like Gliscopods, like Crossy-Cut GX once, and that's pretty much it. Like they got like a Lele or something. But outside of that, it's really not that good of an attacker in the mirror match. I mean, you can armor press, but then if we so armor press is a little bit weird because they have down Sudowoodo. You can't ranger and hex, that's impossible, but you can still like maybe like Counter Catcher Zoroark or something like that. It's a very weird thing, but if they armor press, you can punch them in the face. If you like Acerola, punch them in the face, and then you're good to go. So that's the thing you can do as well. Like if they armor press, you're like Acerola, take and swing, and then they need 2 turns to set them to the Gliscopod. So by the end, you can knock out a Zoroark. So I think it's a very favorable matchup for sure. So we win that one. Next up, we have another Gliscopod Zoroark, which I'm very happy again. But this one is very different because he is playing Assault Vest in his Gliscopod deck. Now, once again, I think this one went just 2 games, maybe 3. I think 2. The only thing I remember about this game, and this is where like it's regionals, right? We're on the line. We're trying to get points. We're trying to make top 64. We're trying to do this. So he is armor pressing. He is doing what he needs to do. He is armor pressing with an assault vest. I'm like, what can I do to this guy? He's got Sudowoodo down. It's a very hard matchup. It's a very like the assault vest makes it kind of difficult for sure. But once again, like he has Gliscopod, which means it's not a Zoroark, so he's not trading as much as we are. He's not drawing as many cards as we are. But the key thing about this matchup, and I hate to say this, but but he comes with the Gliscopod. He brings up my Zoroark-GX, right? He has 100 damage on it. He's been armor pressing. He brings it up with an 8 with Guzma, brings up his Gliscopod, and he goes armor press. And I'm like, well, that's not a knockout. And he's like, oh, I meant first person. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, bud, but he said armor press, and I don't know realistically how much this would have changed, but when you're at regionals, you need to make sure you say the right attacks, and I'm just saying this from experience, because, but he said armor press, and I really do think he meant armor press because he thought he had the knockout, and he wanted to keep the lockup of where we don't one-shot his Gliscopods, because once you armor press, you can't take a knockout. Like it's almost like it's impossible. Like because you can't ranger and hex, like I said. So it's theoretically possible to knock it out. So I think he was trying to keep the lockup and then didn't realize it had 100 damage on it. And since he had Assault Vest, he didn't have a choice spell on it to take a knockout. So that was really good. And from there, we proceeded to win. I do feel somewhat guilty because I was like, "No, dude, you announced armor press," and he said that's fine. And so I think he realized he did make a mistake by saying the attack. I really do think he was trying to keep the lockup from us not taking a knockout, but that it didn't really cost him too much because I was doing the like I'm gonna hit your Gliscopod just barely, just a little bit, and then next turn go for the hex and then like take a knock on your Gliscopod that way. And also we still do play Field Blower, so if you can like Field Blower and do some stuff that can help you out as well, but we would win this game. And then next up, we're finally at someone's PC table. I've never played a table event. Playing against Chris, really good guy. I feel really bad. You'll hear that one in a second. So game 1, I think I'll win this one. No, he beats me game 1. Like he is playing. He's actually playing Zoroark Glade, which we lost to earlier, but he's not playing Maxis. He's playing like the Raw Rare Candy Glade version. It's not the Maxis. So he's Rare Candy to his guys. So game 1 he destroys me. Like he just like destroys me. And then game 2, I remember at one point I bridge it turn 1, I get my 4 Zoras in play. turn 2 I Sycamore and hit 3 Zoroark GXs. Like, just drew it to rent, like, just manually, just like off of a Sycamore for 7. Chris is freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my goodness, Chris, I am so sorry. I'd easily set this one up. And the reason why we can easily take this game is because if Chris doesn't get like multiple Glades out, and we just like keep just Guzma up his ROS before they evolve into Glades, we can easily win this game, and that's what would happen there. Game 2. In Game 3, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, Chris did not draw into his DCEs. Once again, he has Pokemon in the field that are not called Zoroark GXs, so you cannot trade as much as we can, and that does terrible things to you. Yeah, he's got teammates, and he can teammates for whatever 2 cards he wants, but it just didn't work out well for Chris. And the reason why I feel so bad about playing Chris, like, okay, so we're talking about how I've been in pain all day, right? I've been hurting all day. My eyes are not doing so well. I'm in pain. I'm in pain right now as we speak. But I think Chris like ends us or something. I think he ends me or something, and I have to hit like Guzma. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I don't have the knockout. And the reason why I'm thinking I don't have the knockout is because I have 4 bench. And he's got an Oricorio on the bench and a Sudowoodo on the bench. So both of those have like 109 and one has 90 HP. So we just Guzma up, we take a knockout, and now I'm like, oh man, I don't know what to do. I'm sitting here with VS Seeker in my hand. I think there's a couple people watching, and they're probably like, what is Squeaky doing? Why is he not just Guzma up the Oricorio, take a knockout? What is he doing? And I'm like trading. Oh, he like, I can't remember, he like put down Sudowoodo, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I discarded the wrong Pokemon. I start freaking out. I'm like, okay, I can't knock out the Zoroark. What do I do? Because I think he swung with a Zoroark and took a knockout or something. No, he swung with a Glade and took a knockout, and I was like, I can't knock out this Glade. Like, there's no way I can knock out this Glade. I'm just gonna lose. Blah blah blah. I'm not gonna top 64. But I just had VS Seeker for Guzma, and I didn't realize I was so out of it. Like, I was so much in pain that I didn't count the active for 100. I had like 24 to 60, 80. I was like, okay, I can't knock out the Oricorio. I can't knock out anything. I'm just gonna lose. What am I doing? I can't Counter Catcher either. We're at the same prices. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna lose. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Chris, I'm so sorry. And I Guzma up his Pokemon. Like, it literally was like 2 minutes of me freaking out. And, but yeah, that would happen. We would go 6-1-2, so 20 points. Like, literally, we won, how many games did we lose, win the last second, or last, how many was it? Like 5 or 6? I can't remember exactly. Hold on, guys, I'm trying to remember what my record was. I think it was 6-1-2. So we'd go 1-2. We win 4 straight at the end to put us at 6-1-2. Had a fantastic run. Get 46th place. Not enough for top 32, unfortunately. I know 6-1-2 sounds fantastic. 20 points. That would easily have put you in top 32 in a couple years ago. But now with over 1,000 people, it's really hard to do that. But now we're at 222 points, which is really nice. 222. We're at 178 points away. Like, realistically, we just win 4 League Cups, call it a day. But we are still going to Connsville. We are still going to Portland. We are still going to Charlotte. So we have multiple regionals still going to. I don't know. Like, we're still going to go, like, hard. We're going to try to do well. We're trying to win regionals. We're trying to cut at least top 32 at regionals. That is the goal for the year. But now we made, I mean, even though we didn't make top 32, I'm feeling fantastic. 6-1-2 is a fantastic record. Like, one of my ties should definitely not, both my ties should have been ties. Like, one was I prized Acerola. One, I didn't hit the last card of a deck, which was the Puzzle of Time. But who would have said if I would have won those games, who would know what I'd hit? Maybe I would have hit a Wailord. I probably would have lost that one. Maybe I would have hit anything. I don't know. Maybe more like laid hype Pokemon, stuff like that. But guys, I had a fantastic weekend meeting everyone. I had so much fun. It was great meeting everybody. I met a ton of people this weekend. I know I wasn't the most chipper person, just because, like I said, my eye was killing me. And it still is killing me right now. I literally just got home, like I said. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button. We are doing great things. I know a lot of people say, you know, Squeaky, you misplay a lot. You're not that good of a player. But there we go. I'm just, you know, trying to prove that we can do this. And it's very hard to commentate while playing Pokemon. But when I'm in the zone playing Pokemon, I can, anything is possible. I promise that. But Connsville is up next. We'll see everybody in like 19 days. I think it's what it says till it's Connsville. But guys, hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 10K. I think, I don't know, we might be at 10K. I haven't looked at the video YouTube all weekend. But yeah, once we're at 10K, we're gonna do a big giveaway. Have a great day. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow I actually have a Dallas vlog, so if you want to see what the regionals are like, I'll have a vlog about that. Show the Steam team stages off. I talk a little bit. I try my best to get a bunch, but once again, my eye was killing me. But I did record a lot of stuff. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty, bye.